If you're like most people, you've probably used AI, or you're at least thinking that you need to use AI, but you haven't gotten great results. You've been playing, but it's not really working out. Well, in today's video, I'm going to go over some of the top, most recent tips to get the best results from AI. I just got back from a Meta event where some of the top AI tips were shared, and I wanted to share some of the best ones here in this video. At this event here in Orlando, Florida, there are over 150 business owners and business leaders learning, again, the top tips from AI. And listen, I know this might seem overwhelming or scary at first. I'm gonna make it super simple, and some of these tips are gonna help you elevate your AI game tremendously. So smash like, smash subscribe. 6 days a week, we're talking about how AI is transforming the world, and let's get into it. So again, at this event, there were 150 business owners, and there were some tremendous examples of how people are doing just tremendous stuff with AI. Everything from building apps with no coding experience, using AI with MCPs and APIs to generate images. Heck, just yesterday, guys, I had Claude Cowork build out an entire Google ad campaign in just minutes. I went in on the back end and was able to clean it up and make some revisions. But guys, this Claude Cowork was able to get me about 75% of the way, not actually closer to 90% of the way there. What used to take me about 2 hours now takes me 15 minutes. And so that's just a quick example of what's actually possible. There was another guy there who's using AI to cold call and answer calls at a tremendous rate. In fact, a few weeks ago, a couple months ago, I covered how another buddy of mine who is the regional director for a very well-known auto mechanic franchise. If I told you the name of the auto mechanic company, you would know who they are. And anyways, he's using AI to book tons and tons of appointments. In fact, he said that AI calls are responsible for about 25% of the meetings and appointments that happen in his office. So guys, let's just face it, AI is for real. Some people are winning with it, some people are losing with it. And I want to start by sharing some prompting tips, okay? These prompt tips are a game changer. And the first thing to look at is layers. It's layers. You need to take time to first add the proper context to who you are, what your business is about, who you're trying to reach, etc., etc. Now, you also want to make sure that your AI is retaining context. There's multiple layers to make sure that AI gives you the best result. You have to add context. You want to make sure that you're retaining context in the right places. For example, every AI app is going to have a long form memory, but you can also create projects and folders where you save specific memory for specific tasks, okay? You want to customize your AI in different ways. You want to make sure that you've connected your AI to other apps. Like for one of the examples that was shared was, well, I connected Ahrefs, which is an SEO tool, to Claude. And by doing that, this is just so crazy what you can do. Now you actually don't even need to go into your software anymore. You just prompt your Claude and say, hey, what performed well last week, last month? What can we do more of? Where are the opportunities? So again, another quick example there. You connect it, and then you want to work in AI, and then finally you want to delegate the use of or the different tasks to AI. And that's where the money is, guys. The more tasks that we offload to AI, the better our work is going to be. It also helps with teams, so the rest of your team can be more effective. Secondly, after you kind of understand those multiple layers to AI, you need to look at the foundations. Fluency, prompting. You want to make sure you have all your AI assets in one place. You start to look at workflows. You start to think about what are the use cases for AI. And by the way, guys, hot tip, if you're not sure where to start, if you're not sure what your use cases are, one of the best things to do is just pop open an AI tool like ChatGPT, pop open voice mode, and just start having a conversation with the tool. This is something that I do, but I need to do more of. Just having a conversation back and forth with AI. Not only is it going to tell you how much of a genius you are, which sycophancy kind of annoys me sometimes, but it'll help to, highlight weak points and opportunities, which you may not have even thought about at all. So those are some foundational tools. The speaker at the event also shared her what we call brief prompting framework. Brief. And let me bust open my my document here. And the brief The brief concept here is when you're creating a prompt, it needs to include 5 things from this brief AI prompting framework. The first is background. What is the context and information the AI needs to operate within? What is your request? The very specific task that you need done. More on that in a moment. I think it's important that you understand, because if you give too large of a task to AI, well, it can get confused. So you need to make sure you have a solid, clear request. You need to give it intent, your clear objective or goal. You need the end result, guys. What is the format or outcome of how you want your results to look? What is the end result? And then focus. What are the details or constraints that your AI needs to work within? And a couple other just like really hot tips, things that I'm going to be implementing as well. Sharing your background via audio. One of the things that people I think know intuitively but don't really consider is that you can speak much faster than you can type. So using the audio form here is really, really good. You don't want to give it a lot of unnecessary information. Too much information can actually cause your AI to stumble and get confused as to what you want. So you want to share the relevant stuff, but not the irrelevant stuff, okay? Ask AI what it needs. Again, this just kind of piggybacks off that previous point. When you're kind of going back and forth with the AI, say, hey, what do you need? What kind of information? What kind of data? And then make sure that it has the proper stuff. And then review your memory and optimize. As I mentioned earlier, every AI tool has a memory built into it. So every time you engage with it, it's going to build up more and more and more long-term memory. But there's a problem. As it gains more memories, it has more context, more information. Sometimes it can muddle stuff together that's not relevant. And I'll give you an example. I sometimes use AI to work with my kids on their homework. But that's like an abstract thing. Or maybe I use AI to help me get better at smoking meats. Where are all my meat smokers out there? Don't take that the wrong way. I love smoking meat. Smoked pork, smoked brisket, smoked ribs. I love that stuff. And I use AI to do that sometimes. But that's not relevant to what I'm doing on a professional level when it comes to marketing and AI and SEO and YouTube, for example. So again, what you need to do, if you haven't done this in a while, this is a good thing to do probably on a monthly basis, is to go into the memory, the long-term memory of your AI, and just clean it up. Make sure that it's got the proper stuff in there. Optimize it. So there's a bunch of like quick prompting tips that'll get you a better result. Okay, next we got to look at scaling your prompting. What are some strategies to scale prompting? And one of the things that we do in the marketing world is we reverse engineer. What's working for other people? What does success look like? Think about your biggest and best competitor. What are they doing that works? Okay, and what you're going to do is you are going to reverse engineer that, right? So when you go into AI and you're asking for it to give you a specific result, say, hey, this is an example of an image, text, etc., and this is what success looks like. Instead of just saying like, hey, I want you to write this many words and it's got to be this rich and this SEO filled up, give it some exact specific examples of what has worked in the past. For me, what I'm doing with clients when we're running ad campaigns, we get a lot of data back in. We can feed that into the tool. That's just an example of what we're doing. And then once you combine that with what your competitors are doing, you can get a great result. You want to make sure that you have a tone of voice guide for your AI. What do you sound like? What is your ideal customer looking for? What do they respond to? Feed that into AI. You need that in order to scale up your results. Use AI to audit yourself, guys. Yourself, your products, your brand voice, your positioning, etc. Use that AI not to reverse engineer your top competitors, but use it to reverse engineer and audit yourself. Build your guide. Take all of that information that you've gotten and then build your own brand guides and tone of voice guides. Really, really important. And then finally, test and refine. I think this is a place that a lot of people kind of skip over, is creating this flywheel. It's not good enough, guys, just to start using AI, but you need to test different things and then bring it back around and iterate, test different things. It sounds fundamental, it sounds easy. It's a little bit time consuming, but it's important. It's an important step of the process. The third major section that we got into is crafting AI workflows. And specifically, we're looking at you might ask it to do something like write a blog, for example, and then once it writes the blog, it doesn't look good, or it's giving you a poor result. And there's typically two reasons why that happens. The first of which is you're either not giving the prompt enough information. And again, if you go back to that brief framework that we covered, that will help. Or you're just giving it too much, too many tasks within that major task. So, and I think this is a great piece of advice, and not something I had thought about until this event, which is take your larger task and break it down into multiple subtasks. And again, I'll just use the blog example because that's something that I do with clients, and I think it's worth looking at. So when you're breaking down that large task of write a blog, well, you could break it down into what's the goal of the blog? Is it awareness? Is it conversions, and so on and so forth? What are the key points? Who are you speaking to? Optimize for SEO. Write up an FAQ portion, which, by the way, guys, FAQs are really, really important on your website because that helps you rank not just for SEO, but for AEO, answer engine optimization, right? SEO is search engine optimization, like Google and so on and so forth. Whereas AEO is answer engine optimization. That's what happens. Do you show up when somebody types in a keyword or a question into ChatGPT? Does your company show up? If not, adding FAQs to your website is a good way of pushing that forward. And I know it's working for some of my clients. So crafting better AI workflows is a good idea. And again, with just to kind of take that to the next level, as you're crafting out your workflows, you can use tools like Zapier or even Claude Cowork to try to automate some of those tasks. That's I love Zapier. I've been working with Zapier a long time, and that's very powerful. Zapier is basically a tool that connects multiple softwares together, and it helps different softwares communicate. So like, for example, maybe someone fills out a Google form, then they get added to your CRM, then they get an automatic email campaign and automatic text, and it kind of brings everything all together. Maybe all those people that fill out your form automatically get added to a retargeting campaign in Google, and so on and so forth. Anyway, I could nerd out on marketing stuff, but that's another quick takeaway there. And then the fourth part here is examples and use cases. You want to not just ideate your use cases, but ideate, create, research, analyze, automate, and train. And again, if you're looking for more examples on how AI can help you, your business, your workflows, etc., ask AI. It's a really solid way. And I just want to reiterate this again, guys. A lot of people out there are like, I need to pay a consultant, or I need to spend a lot of money, and I need outside training, I need certifications. Quite frankly, and I'm probably shooting myself in the foot on this, but guys, that's why you subscribe to the channel, because I just tell it how it is, right? AI can do a lot of this stuff for you. If you have a problem, if you have a question, if you're not sure what the next step is, if you just ask Claude, if you just ask ChatGPT, if you just ask Meta AI, if you just ask Grok, it'll tell you what you need to do to take it to the next level. So anyway, those were some of my top tips. I would also say that, this stuff is moving so quickly. It's just really crazy. Like what's possible today, like for example, you see AI video all over the place. Just a year ago, just even 6 months ago, anything that was generated with an AI video had like 6 fingers and 4 arms. That's not the case anymore. I mean, I was just watching Netflix, or was it Amazon? Anyway, I was watching one of these channels last night. And by the way, quick pet peeve of mine, you're paying for a subscription to one of these video streaming services, and then you have to watch 2 minutes of ads between your favorite show. What the heck is that? I've been watching The Shards on FX, and it's like I got to watch 2 minutes of commercials every 6 minutes. It's absolutely crazy. In any event, a lot of those videos are just fully generated with AI. I mean, you've probably seen it, you probably know it, and the AI is really, it's just come a long way. So anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is that this stuff is moving very, very rapidly. And one of the things that they highlighted with Meta AI is that now Meta AI is fully integrated into all of your Meta ad campaigns. So if you're spending money on Meta, if you're running ads, you can just ask Meta to analyze the ad performance and then create a deck and a strategy. And not only will it tell you what's been working, what hasn't been working, but it'll actually give you suggestions on how you can iterate and improve on your campaign. So guys, just a really tremendous time to be alive. I know this stuff is scary. You're probably not getting great results. I hope that these tips kind of helped you out. If you like the video, like, subscribe. I appreciate that. Join the community below. It's completely free for 30 days. You can ask questions. I will answer. Really appreciate that. Need your guys, not just support, but just your feedback, which is important. But in any event, if you'd like these 2 lead magnets, which give all these answers, just shoot me an email, mark@marksavantmedia.com. I'm not even going to put together a full working lead magnet and deck and email sequence. I got too much going on in my life right now to build this out. But for you, if you email mark@marksavantmedia.com and just say, hey, Mark, give me the deck, I'll shoot you over these 2 lead mags, which I think really get you off to start. This was a really great event. Learned a lot. Shout out to Krista. She did a great job leading and doing the training. And guys, don't be scared. Don't be scared. There's a lot. Guys, I know it's a tough time out there. Jobs are being chewed up left and right. But I'll tell you what, if you understand how to use this AI, if you understand how to operate with it, it's going to lead to opportunities. I'm telling you, it's going to lead to opportunities. I know it personally, and I know it'll work for you. So anyway, email me, mark@marksavantmedia.com. If you like the video, like, subscribe, and check out yesterday's video where, again, we're talking about how jobs are being disrupted. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Peace.